at a fresh 52-week high. The earlier 52-week high was 18,442 that we hit about in the middle of November. But just in the last 30 minutes, aided by the risk-on rally that we saw in global markets overnight, the decline in crude prices to $85 per barrel, and perhaps a bit of help coming in from the November expiry. So post 3 p.m., we've seen a fantastic up move in the markets. It's a vertical rise on the benchmark indices. The Nifty and the Sensex are racing away. The mid-caps are falling behind, but they are trying to climb higher as we speak.
I remember the move started exactly at
3 p.m.
At 3 p.m. Exactly at 3 p.m. and it continues. The surge continues. I mean, the Nifty will have to wait a little bit more, but not much. I mean, just 120 odd points, and we'll be there. I mean, 0.5%, 0.6%. That's it on the Nifty as well. But the Sensex has made the good old Sensex has made a new high, a new record high. The Nifty Bank is, of course, been making record highs before. I mean, we started going sideways the last couple of days, and this is, sort of pretty big in that sense. A new high generally opens up. I mean, you're looking at uncharted territory. You don't have a reference point. You could do projections, etc. But it generally is uncharted waters in that sense. And that's why it kind of opens up possibility, imagination, and what the market will do from here.
But you know what? Given how sideways the markets have been and pretty much gone nowhere in the last 1 year, despite us being at all-time high levels, the euphoria in the markets is missing. Typically, when we hit all these all-time high levels, you can see the tezi in the markets, as they call it, right? There's thumping. People are all excited. They're making money on their portfolios. But this time, you've not really made that much money in the markets, because if you look at the one-year returns, they're hardly 2%, 3%, 4% thereabouts. So I'm saying that that emotion in the market, appears to be missing this time.
You're absolutely right, and we'll depend on you to generate some of that euphoria and some of that stuff.
I think you need the money to.
No, but I think, Rima, the point is that through the course of this year, the market didn't fall that much, right? Okay. I think that is the story of the market. By the way, you can perhaps, we'll have to check, of course, and be absolutely sure. But I would imagine that amongst large markets, actually even most markets, we are perhaps the only market which is at a new all-time high, right? Very few other markets, maybe one or two, of any meaningful size would be at new highs. So I think that is a story, which is basically one of falling much lesser as compared to global markets, and then coming back to where it started falling, which was October of 2021. Which was the previous record high from where the market started to fall. But I think your point is absolutely taken. That all-inclusive kind of enthusiasm, and that is kind of obviously it won't be, because that's not the kind of market that we are in. The big story has been relative outperformance, and of course a little bit of absolute performance as well. Ambareesh Baliga is with us. Ambareesh, you want to comment on these highs on the Sensex and the Bank Nifty?
Yeah, in fact, one good thing which has happened now is, at least in the last few days, it has consolidated at these levels, and now it has moved up. So hopefully the higher levels should hold for a while. And as far as profits are concerned in portfolios, I think quite a few portfolios are still in losses, because the stocks which actually moved in 2021 and people holding those stocks, the stars of 2021, are in fact, showing losses. And 2022 was a completely different set of stocks. So, those who have bought fresh in 2022 have actually made money. Those who are holding on to the 2021 stars are still losing. So, I think because of that, there's no euphoria as such. Not everyone is making money, but you have some of those guys who have also bought IPOs recently. They've made money, but then not the whole market.
Hi, Ambareesh. Well, as we speak, we're dancing away. We're moving to around 18,500, and just three big boys should come up for you on the screen: TCS, Reliance, and ITC. These three heavyweights, they have just take a look at that chart. Of all these three stocks, they have moved one way, and that's clearly helping the Nifty move higher. The Nifty Bank, by the way, is up close to 350 points, and 18,500 is almost here. Remember, at the start of the show, we made this point: 18,430. If that gets crossed, you could easily take out close to around 50 points odd. And that's precisely what's happened. We're up 70 points once we took off that 18,430 odd mark. Well, Ambareesh, what do you do from here? From the mid-cap space, I believe that you're fancying some of these new age companies, so to call it. Which one is it?
Absolutely. The stock is Delivery. That's India's largest and fastest growing express logistics player. It has a very strong market share in the three fastest growing areas, which is express parcel, partial truckload, which is called PTL, and third-party logistics. So it has cornered about 25% share in India's overall e-commerce express parcel market, which currently is just about 3% of China's, and it continues to grow at about 30% annually. So express parcel is delivery's dominant growth driver right now. About 60% of the sales comes from there. And this segment is, again, driven entirely by e-commerce. I mean, there were a few hiccups, no doubt, in the recent past with the management update in early October regarding the slight slowdown in the PTL segment as well as the supply chain services. And they've had integration challenges between delivery and the recent acquisition of Spot On. And the Q2 numbers were more or less in line with the management update. And lately, there has been a pressure due to the end of that lock-in. But I believe most of the negatives are already priced in, including the lock-in liquidity. And I think further this new axle load norms and initiatives like ONDC, I think this will further support the sector's growth. So I believe the leader like delivery will be back on track. And achieve the real EBITDA. Not the perceived EBITDA, but the real EBITDA possibly by the next 12 to 15 months. So looking at the DCF for next 7 years with a growth of about 25% CAGR, I'm getting a target of about 625 over the next 12 months. So I think that's a decent return from here with not too much of a downside.
HSBC today lowered the target price on delivery. Earlier it was 710. They brought it down to 455. Two reasons. One, they believe the e-commerce industry growth rate itself is slowing down from here on. And they're saying, two, consecutive weak quarters in terms of numbers has shattered the street's confidence in terms of a near to medium term outlook. But that's about delivery. Ambareesh, do stay on. We want to talk about another important story, and that is the Tata Group. In the last couple of years, the Tata Group has been expanding its presence across sectors through multiple strategic acquisitions of large companies. The group is now back in the limelight as it looks to buy iconic brand Bisleri. Sonia is here to wrap up this acquisition as well as the acquisition spree of the Tata Group. Sonia?
Well, as you rightly pointed out, the Tata Group has been on an acquisition spree over the last 2 years. It's back in the limelight now with the impending acquisition of the iconic brand Bisleri for around 7,000 crores. Ramesh Chauhan of Bisleri spoke to CNBC-TV18 and spoke about how the Tata Group will nurture and take care of the brand. We know how the Tatas are actively in the water portfolio through brands like Himalayan and Tata Water Plus. And the Tatas are not new to acquisitions as well. In Tata Consumer, in the past, Tatas have gone ahead and acquired Soulful too. But let's move on to some of the other sectors. The big deal, remember, took place in 2021 when Tata Sons won that bid to own 100% stake in Air India by paying 18,000 crores. Then in July of 2022, Tata Steel bought Neelanchal Ispat for over 12,100 crores. The Tata Group also cemented its foray into the online grocery market. In 2021, Tata Digital acquired majority stake in Big Basket for 400 crores, and in the same year, Tata Digital acquired the online pharmacy business 1mg for 720 crores. These are just the acquisitions, but there were several other big strategic monetization and deals that took place in the Tata Group. In defense and power, for example, let's start with that. When BlackRock Real Assets invested 4,000 crores for a little over 10% stake in Tata Power Renewables, we also had GE Aerospace and Tata Advanced Systems that signed a long-term contract worth almost $1 billion for production and supply of several commercial aircraft engine components. Now, let's wrap this up by saying that these acquisitions, although ambitious, have not always been successful in the past. It is early days to judge these deals and assess if they are value accretive and returns accretive. But the important point here is that the group has a renewed focus now on mergers and acquisitions under the leadership of N. Chandrasekaran. Back to you.
Well, that's a very interesting wrap-up of Tata Group's efforts and what they've been doing on the M&A side. I mean, sprawling ambition, really. Ambareesh, of course, is still with us. Ambareesh, so the gains kind of continue, 18,521 now. And obviously, we won't be able to take our eyes off the Nifty now that the Sensex is all-time high. Still, it makes a new all-time high. But you have usually a stock pick and what you want to talk about. Do you have one today, Ambareesh?
No, in fact, I just gave my stock pick, which is delivery.
Delivery. Okay, delivery was the pick. Okay, fair enough.
I started about 75.
Okay, that's interesting though. The new one, right? New age one. You stacked it up against the blue dots of the world, and this still comes out on top?
Yeah, despite that, I mean, it's been the fastest growing. I mean, if you see the last couple of years, I mean, the sort of a growth which it has shown compared to most of the other players, it's been much better than the rest of them. And the only issue with the new age stocks is about being cash positive or EBITDA positive. And here I believe that this company should be real EBITDA positive in the next 12 to 15 months. I think that should be the game changer for this.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And there's a space we continue to track and follow as well. Deliveries, Ambareesh's pick. We'll take a break here. There's 7 minutes to go for close. Of course, if you're just joining us, it's new highs for the Sensex and not very far for the Nifty now as well. See you on the other side.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
जब दोस्त इंजीनियरिंग और मेडिकल की लाइन में लग रहे थे तो मैंने फैशन डिजाइनिंग की राह पकड़ ली। फैमिली ने कहा, दर्जी बनोगे क्या? अब दर्जी ही सही, बनूंगा अपनी मर्जी से।
सिग्नेचर ग्लोबल आपके इसी अंदाज को सल्यूट करता है। इंडिपेंडेंट फ्लोर्स फॉर द इंडिपेंडेंट यू।
She wants to live a life without fear. She wants the opportunity to set the highest standards and benchmarks. She wants to be a ceiling breaker, a go-getter, and a change maker. She wants to be the leader of today and tomorrow. CNBC-TV18 takes another very important step to ensure that gender parity becomes an undeniable reality. Where equitable gain, equal participation, infinite growth become the rules, not the exceptions of the game. Making the future truly forward.
HSBC presents CNBC-TV18 Future Female Forward, the Women's Collective.
Presented by HSBC. Industry partner, Vicky. Associate partner, Reliance Industries Limited.
To make my vision a reality, I have to see clearly from every point of view. With my Verilux progressive lenses, I seamlessly transition from near to far and see every detail in sharp focus. When you see no limits, there are no limits. Verilux lenses by Essilor.
भारी लोड है, गाड़ी फंस गई तो?
बॉर्डर पर हमारे जवानों तक पहुंचना जरूरी है।
टाटा योद्धा 2.0, जहां जमीन है वहां रास्ते हैं।
Welcome back. Well, the bulls are partying on Dalal Street. The headline index is moving to fresh all-time highs. That's the Nifty 18,604. That's the level you're looking at. But the mid-cap index that's lagging yet again. Let's hope in the next few days the party gets better and they as well start participating. By the way, on Lupin, we have a disclosure that's come on the exchanges. They have said that the US FDA inspected their Mandadeep Unit 1 facility in the last week or so. That's on the 14th of November to 23rd. And the inspection of the facility closed with the issuance of a Form 483 with 8 observations for the drug product as well as the API facility. So we'll have to analyze what impact will it have. But, Ambareesh, what's your take, the pharma pack as well as on Lupin, if any view? Some of that bad news doesn't stop for some of these companies, and US pricing erosion is something that's been hurting them.
That's true, and because of which we have seen quite a few of them have underperformed, and Lupin has been the one which has been hit the most. Although it's been on a buy list, but then we have been keeping a close watch, not really asking people to buy right now. I think we'll have to see as to how this plays out. So better to stay on the sidelines.
Okay. Very quickly, Ambareesh, Adani Enterprises, the board meets tomorrow to consider a fundraise. There is, big size is spoken about, $1.8 billion, $2.4 billion But your thoughts on Adani Enterprises?
In fact, this is one group, I mean, although it's got a very large market cap, I've avoided tracking it.
All right, Ambareesh, we'll leave it at that. By the way, the markets, the Nifty is going to end above that 18,500 mark. The Sensex is going to go home with a gain of close to about 900 points.